seatbelts, everyone!
Please let this be a normal day.
With the frizz? No way!
Cruising down on Georgian Drive, you're relaxed and feeling good. Next thing that you know, you're seeing formaldehyde in the neighborhood. Surfing through your nostrils past the epiglottis. Take a left at your bronchioles. Oh, gas exchange is fun on the magic school bus. Navigate a nostril, climb on the magic school bus. See metabolism too on the magic school bus. Raft a river of formaldehyde on the magic school bus. Such a fine thing to do. So be aware of the dangers. Don't let strangers tell a lie. Absorption, inhalation, and ingestion are ways you can die on the magic school bus. Step inside, it's the college ride. Right on the magic school bus.
Bet your match won't show up after that embarrassing loss to the Calgary Flames last night.
They're an awful team. I don't know why I list them, so.
Wow, looks like we're the first people here today.
Yeah. Remember where everyone is?
It's cold. Hey, Arnie, where's Miss Frizzle? I don't know.
Hi, kids! Can anybody guess what we're learning about today?
What, Miss Frizzle?
Formaldehyde!
Miss Frizzle, what is formaldehyde?
Good question, Arnold. Formaldehyde is a toxic organic compound with the chemical formula CH2O. It's commonly found in a gaseous state. Can anybody tell me how it might enter a biological system?
Oh, I know. I think there's a main way through absorption, and it's quickly absorbed into the biological system through ingestion through the gastrointestinal tract, and inhalation in the upper respiratory tract, which is through the lungs. And it's poorly absorbed into, what is it again?
That's dermal contact there, Carlos.
Yeah, okay.
Most evaporated with CO2, I believe, and the ones that do get in are binded by macromolecules and stay stationary in the skin.
Cool.
Good job, guys. Where formaldehyde comes into contact, it's diffused into the mucus layer. It can pass the mucus layer by diffusion and reach the underlying epithelium. From there, it is reversibly bound to mucus proteins, and it can be removed by the mucus flow parallel to the epithelial surface. Can anybody tell me where the chemical would be distributed in the body?
Oh, so because formaldehyde is rapidly metabolized, the chemical is not stored nor deposited in the body, and very rarely has been found in the bloodstream. The main organs targeted are the eyes, the nose, the throat, and it is described mainly as an irritant through dermal contact.
How do you know that?
I don't know. But it can also be classified as a sensitizer and can cause allergic contact, dermatitis, and asthma.
Okay, how do you know that?
Miss Frizzle, obviously. She taught me everything.
Ralph, you're so right. And after distribution of the body, formaldehyde excretes and disperses from the plasma with an approximate half-life of about 1.5 minutes, I think. And most is converted to CO2 and exhaled through the lungs. So when it goes through your urinary excretion, it removes to the rest of the body with active transport. You think?
Wow, that was amazing, but awesome.
Good job, Carlos and Ralph. You guys have been paying attention to class. Now for a little bit tougher question. Can anybody tell me how it's metabolized in the systems?
Pick me.
Guys,
Pick me.
hey,
Pick me.
I got this one, okay? I got this one.
What?
Formaldehyde is naturally present in the human blood with concentrations of approximately 1 to 2 parts per million. Quickly metabolized in humans by erythrocytes, which contain enzymes formaldehyde dehydrogenase and aldehyde dehydrogenase. The two phases of metabolism include phase 1 hydration and phase 2 glutathione conjugation. Formaldehyde at low levels is metabolized and detoxified rapidly.
Whoa.
Arnold, are you okay?
What happened, man?
I blacked out.
Miss Frizzle, Where's the rest of the class?
Yeah, where is the rest of the class?
Sick?
You're supposed to be looking.
There are various factors that can affect the metabolism of formaldehyde in a system. For instance, different species, where rodents are obligate nasal breathers, where they breathe only through their nose, and humans are oronasal, which means they breathe through their nose and mouth, and this can increase absorption. Small babies have a higher sensitivity related to the rate of respiration and their immature metabolism. Pre-existing conditions such as atopic eczema can also increase the rate of absorption. So class, I know that we've taken in a lot of information so far today, so we're just going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have a special surprise for you.
Calgary sucks.
Woo!
Can't believe he's got to be one of the worst hockey players to have on commercial.
Hold on there, guys. We're going on a field trip today.
A field trip?
Hi, Faber. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I was wondering if you could show my class around your workplace and tell them about the risks of formaldehyde.
Yeah, perfect. Come on in.
Great.
Whoa.
Welcome, class. So, Faber, what can you tell us about the risks associated with formaldehyde use in the workplace?
Well, Miss Frizzle, in this workplace, there's formaldehyde everywhere. Especially in these types of woods. We got the softwood, we got the hardwood. When you cut those with that bandsaw over there, it gets everywhere. And you gotta protect yourself because you can breathe it in. And you don't wanna do that, so we use these personal protective equipment. And it's also found in home furnishing, like in wood appliances, on tables, chairs. Also in paper mills. And what else can I tell you around here? It's also found in pharmaceuticals and cosmetics, like what that girl's wearing over there. So in this workplace, as you can see, there's a lot of construction materials being built, and formaldehyde's everywhere distributed through this place. And sometimes when I have to use it as formalin, I have to wear this acid protective suit. It's very good for you. So I always wear my personal protective equipment because you can get cancer. It's very carcinogenic, sorry, hard word to pronounce. Hey man, what are you doing back there?
I ain't just sweeping the floor, boss.
Okay. Why do you got that fire extinguisher in your hair?
Well, it's always good to carry a fire extinguisher, boss. See, the flames start out of nowhere sometimes. You have control over them, so I carry a fire extinguisher wherever I go. However, formaldehyde is not very flammable, so it's not really related to what you're talking about right now.
Okay, that's great.
I'm going to continue with the floor, boss. I got to do the whole place.
Cheers.
Thanks, Faber. Thanks, Faber, for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye, Faber.
Thanks, Faber, Castell. Hey.
Hey, Carlos.
How are you, Miss Frizzle?
Good. How are you?
Cold, eh? Formaldehyde's pretty cool, though, eh?
Actually, did you know that 10 to 25% of exposure to formaldehyde is from cigarette smoke?
Whoa, really?
Mm-hmm.
So why do you smoke?
I'm addicted.
Oh, can I have one?
Sure.
I didn't know formaldehyde was so exciting.
Yeah, I didn't know it was so carcinogenic.
Calgary sucks.
Hello, did everybody have fun on the field trip?
Yes, Miss Frizzle.
All right, we're just going to go over a few things that we learned today. Ralph, can you tell me anything about potential health risks?
Yes, I can, Miss Frizzle. So, Miss Frizzle, Faber there mentioned that formaldehyde was a carcinogen. Therefore, it causes cancer. And I did a little research on the bus. I found out that it causes cancer in the throat and the nose. How does that sound? Is that all right?
Good job, Ralph. Can anybody tell me the exposure factors that Faber mentioned today?
Oh, I know, Miss Frizzle. I remember Faber saying that there was a lot of exposure in the factory due to building materials for construction, and also the main one was for varnish, for tables and chairs and everything. And also, I was outside having a cigarette with you, and 10 to 25% was formaldehyde in cigarette smoke, so that can cause cancer also. But there's one thing that Faber forgot to say when I did a little bit of research after it, was that it's very rare for the body to be exposed to formaldehyde from drinking water because it is chemically soluble in water, so it breaks down.
Great job, Carlos. You guys were paying attention. Arnold, I know you've done some research on dose-response relationships. Is there any way you could explain that to the rest of the class?
I guess I'll try, Miss Frizzle. I looked into it as well on my smartphone, which is an iPhone is way better than a BlackBerry. It's a whole other topic. They've demonstrated tumors in the upper respiratory tract with statistically significant increases at exposure concentrations higher than 4 parts per million in humans. Also, they've shown a consistent cause-effect and dose-response relationship for formaldehyde. They also, measurable lung effects have not been found in controlled human exposure studies and epidemiological studies below 1 milligram per meter cubed. Basically, Miss Frizzle, what this is saying, if I can come up and write on the board for a second. Here's our dose. That's response. And at low-level concentrations, there's a linear relationship. But once you start getting higher dose, a big J curve happens and there's a high response. That's basically all that I know about dose response. It's simple.
Thanks, Arnold, for explaining that. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. Do you mind if I be excused? I don't feel too well. I think it might have been all that formaldehyde exposure we got from the factory. I knew I shouldn't have come to school today. And then you're supposed to say something.
Sure, Arnold. I hope you're feeling better. All right, class. Now we're going to do some risk characterization with all the information that we've taken in today.
Woohoo!
So there are two types of exposure. Acute and chronic. Can anybody tell me what the difference between those two, and also related to Faber's working conditions?
Oh, I know, Miss Frizzle. Chronic exposure is after a long period of time, right?
That's right. Ralph, can you tell me anything about acute exposure?
Well, Miss Frizzle, acute exposure would be a short duration of time. For instance, if Faber there, if he took some formaldehyde and just spilt it on himself, that would be acute.
That's correct. That's correct, guys. Most of the data that we have on formaldehyde toxicity is derived from acute tests. We can get various things like the LD50, which stands for the lethal dose 50, which is the dose of formaldehyde that would be administered to the subject and produce death in 50% of the subjects. For formaldehyde, that is 100 milligrams per kilogram in rats. The NOAEL is the no observable adverse effect limit, and this is the limit at which there is no observable effect from the dose, which is in ingestion in humans 300 milligrams per kilogram a day. And for eye and nasal irritation, it is 0.09 milligrams per meter cubed. From the NOAEL level, we can derive the acceptable daily intake, which will be 3 milligrams per kilogram per day in humans. So that's all on formaldehyde for today, class. For next week, I want you to read up on food additives and bring in any information on toxicity that you can, and we'll discuss it next week. Thank you.